Well, welcome back. Tonight, Boston defense attorney Phil Tracy is here talking with us about some legal issues that have popped up in the news lately.
Phil, thank you so much for coming in.
Great to be here with you again.
Up first, we want to talk about the arraignment today of Brian Hefner. This is the estranged husband of former state Senate President Stan Rosenberg. Today, Hefner pleaded not guilty to charges that he sexually assaulted several men. A judge released Hefner today on personal recognizance and ordered him to stay away from his accusers as well as stay away from the Massachusetts State House. So, Phil, what happens now in this case? He's out. What happens now?
Well, he's out because he has no prior record, and that's the usual situation. There's no question in this case that if these men who have been assaulted are strong enough to go forward, and that's a little difficult, it's a different situation. The Me Too movement is out there, but this is Me Too in a different fashion because these are men, and that sometimes it's hard for them to testify about a sexual attack on themselves. He's going to go to jail. That's the bottom line. In the end, there's going to be some sort of hopefully a plea bargain or not a trial, so they don't have to recount it in court, as often happens to women when they have to testify in a rape case. It's very difficult. They say you're re-assaulted in the process itself. So those men, kudos to them for having the guts to cooperate with the investigation to this point, but he is going to go to jail, and the fallout is going to hurt a lot of people. Now, it's at the State House. That's the seat of our government. Things like that should never happen in any place, but they shouldn't happen there.
The Senate President Stan Rosenberg stepped down from his leadership position. He is running again. They are estranged at this point, he and his husband. What do you think this means for Stan Rosenberg?
I think it's difficult for him going forward because I think people are going to be skeptical that he wasn't aware. And I know that there were rumors, rumblings. There was even, he said, I'm going to put a firewall between us. He said that because of previous incidents in which this man had said things like, I have influence, that type of thing.
Right, just as a technical question, they're married. Can Stan Rosenberg be forced to testify, or as a spouse does he not have to?
Well, it's a very good question, and here's what it is. In this Commonwealth, the spouse has the right not to testify against his spouse. And in other states, the spouse who's the defendant can prevent the spouse from testifying.
Another big legal headline that has really infuriated a lot of our viewers. Last week, the WBZI team found audio of slain Yarmouth Police officer Sean Gannon testifying in court last year against his now accused killer, Thomas Latanovich. This was a case of domestic assault where the accuser chose not to testify, so the judge, it was Judge Thomas Barrett in this case, chose to dismiss the case.
And many viewers have asked us, how can someone with a record this long, more than 100 charges, be released after he was again facing charges, this time for domestic assault?
It's very hard for the public to understand, but if you can put it in this type of a framework, there are thousands of cases across the Commonwealth every day. Sometimes things do go wrong, but sometimes the factual and legal parameters prevent a judge from doing what everybody would say. That's the right thing to do. Put him in jail. But you can't do it if it's against the law and if the facts and if the people who are needed to testify don't testify. So you take the worst criminal you got there, but you don't have a case against him, either from the prosecution side or the judge sitting in judgment of the person. He can't. The judge can't break the law and say, I'm going to throw you in jail because I don't like who you are and what you've been. You can't do that.
You can't do that. Of course, we spoke earlier in the broadcast about how the whole Cape Cod delegation now wants a hearing at the State House. They consider this a big lapse in our criminal justice system. What can you say to people to make them feel better about the system?
I can say this, that I'm a part of the system. We always have to do better. I was a prosecutor. My father was a judge. I've defended many people and helped many families in the defense. That's the system as it works. Sometimes people are not satisfied with the results, but as long as we keep trying to make it work within the parameters of the law and the facts, it is a good system for the people. And, you know, I just talked to a victim witness person today because I represent a victim in a case. And, you know, so you do the best you can to make the system work. Does it always work? No. There are things that fall through the cracks, and glaringly, this did.
Phil Tracy, defense attorney here in Massachusetts. It's always so nice to have you on.
Oh, it's great to be with you.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much.